139, in which we did way too much shopping last night, stayed up way too late, and I have read too many books.
And we're drinking coffee.
Oh yeah.
We're going to be super on track and very concise and definitely under an hour.
Lies are you selling?
All of the lies.
I will people sell realize
the lies.
That I think I edit out like at least 20 minutes every episode. I take at least 20 minutes out, guys. I would take out more, but what little cohesion we have would be gone. I'm like, well, that's not going to work so much. We are a knitting podcast. We are coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, from Jocelyn's house because Diana has a car and Jocelyn doesn't.
I also have a healing husband at home, and he would prefer silence.
Yeah, he would not appreciate us.
No.
Appreciate us this week. No, not when you're in recovery mode. That's always a bad thing. He's okay. It was a small dude thingy. Had to go in, had to get it done.
Yep.
All fixed up, and that's the important part, so.
It's all minor. He's just sore and cranky.
It's hard, even with like minor surgeries or like dental stuff. Like, I got dental stuff this week, I'm like, even with that, yeah, you're cranky because you hurt.
Yep.
It's super okay to be cranky when you're hurt. It's just a thing. Anyway, Diana, do you want to let everybody know what we're going to cover?
This week we have What's in Our Cup, Cool Threads, Woolly Workings, Yarn on the Go, Wool Gathering, and Kniterature. So as part of too much shopping last night, we got a fancy Japanese coffee in a can.
Momo is a Japan Living store that opened up in St. Vital. And me and Diana went to the Behind the Closed Doors event, which we've done, this is our second year now?
Yeah.
And you buy tickets and the proceeds go to charity and you get to shop at the mall after hours on Saturday, which is 7 to 10:30 it's open.
Yeah. So
we went and we shopped. It's something we enjoy doing.
And they've all got deals on and stuff. Oh, yeah. It's not like Black Friday level, but everybody's got a sale of
Everybody's got a sale of some sort, which works perfect. So we went and I was like, okay, Diana needed a Christmas party dress. I needed pants. And I really wanted to show off the Momo store to Diana.
We were successful on all counts.
We got all of our adulting done and we managed to get a cup of tea and I ran into somebody within the first 15 minutes of being there. Like I do.
I have some Boss Rainbow Mountain Blend. Whatever the heck that means. I don't know, it's cold brew coffee in a can.
We love weird things. We bought your husband ramen noodles.
Yes, and he ate them today and seemed to like them.
Excellent. The only English on my can of milk coffee is fire.
I'm gonna hold this up here.
And the ingredients list on the back.
It's fire.
It's a nice mild tea.
I don't know why it says fire. It's not very fiery. I tried some.
But that's fine. It's gluten-free, which is the important part for Jocelyn. And that unsweetened matcha cold tea, that was really good.
I've got my lychee drink waiting for me at home.
Oh, yeah. Let me know how it goes.
I'm excited.
And I tried the weirdly named chocolate bar.
Oh, how was that?
Good. A sweeter dark chocolate than I was expecting. Really nice. Should try a square before you go home.
All right. I won't say no to chocolate.
No, you'd be crazy if you said no to chocolate. You like chocolate. Makes complete sense. So that was sort of our big event this week, was lots of shopping. Lots of stuff and the doing and the things of the doing. No?
Shall we talk about what cool threads we wore while we were out and about?
Sure. I didn't do a coat because it wasn't even -10.
It was above 0 yesterday. It was weird. Like we had early winter and now the snow's all melted and it was raining yesterday. Like it's spring again. It's weird.
Bah.
It's been a weird fall.
Not enjoying this fake spring. I don't ever enjoy fake spring.
I'm enjoying it insofar as I thought I was done with my new leather jacket for the year, but I am not. I've been able to wear it a few more times and I'm really excited about it because it's my favorite thing in my entire wardrobe.
Right now? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I wore my Find Your Fade shawl because it is ginormous and does the trick just fine to walk from a car to
Find Your Fade shawls are enormous? What? You don't say.
You haven't blocked that yet.
I know. I don't have enough mats for this. It's going to be a very loose block.
Mine was a very loose block. My blocking for my Find Your Fade was to do it soak, pull it out. I squeeze because I've got the hand strength to
Mhm.
squeeze and get a lot of the excess water out. And then I literally laid out I use bath sheet towels for a lot of my towels. I laid them out across my floor and I literally just draped it on the towels and walked away for a day or two.
I think that's what I'm going to have to do.
Yeah, and it still grew a lot. That was my blocking because I was like, I don't have enough pins for this. I don't have enough mats for this. It's too big. It's not gonna happen. So that's what I did. It worked. I mean, it worked great, but it's a big shawl. Looks amazing when it's on though. It's so drapey.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks
I'm
so
excited
good.
for this.
So I wore that, but when it starts to get cold, I just wear my Find Your Fade and my winter coat. So it's been my Find Your Fade and Diana's mittens that she made me. Because we're not super cold, we're just kind of cold.
I've been wearing my Rivers wrap a lot. It goes really well with everything because it's neutral colors and stripes. But I really like it with the leather jacket.
Looks really
Because
good.
you can wear it all like loose and down, and it's all like drapey and like whatever. I don't care. But you can also wrap it up around your face like 6 times, like a blanket scarf. Well, okay, 3 times. 6 is an exaggeration, but you can do the blanket scarf thing with it, and it's fantastic. I love that thing so much.
You really do.
I
think of all the things you've made, that is your...
It's my absolute favorite thing.
Yeah.
I gotta do more wraps and less shawls.
That was definitely a Shannon Cook. That was a podcast anniversary. I think it was like our first one.
I think it was.
Yeah, it must have been first one because last year was Cozy Up Knits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was our first podcast anniversary knit was that one.
Yeah, I think I finished it like 3 extra months late.
It's your MO.
It was. It's definitely the thing I wear the most that isn't socks.
That's fair.
My socks barely make it back into my sock drawer before I'm wearing them again.
You know, that's fairly true. I've usually got my socks. I don't have any hand knit socks right now, so I'm wearing my commercial socks today. Usually by Sunday I'm out of hand knit socks.
I only have 2 pairs, and one of them I knit slightly too small for me, so I think they might get regifted to somebody with smaller feet. I'm very sad.
A fair number of pairs, but apparently not enough. I need to knit myself more socks. Okay, I understand.
Yep. I also need to knit more socks and stop giving them away to everybody.
Yes, you do.
I've knit so many pairs of socks. I've only kept 2, and I'm still going to give one of them away.
Yeah, you need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, being the recipient of one of those pairs of socks, not my fault you knit them too big. Not my fault.
I could not be bothered to rip them back and make them smaller.
And I love it when I wear them all the time.
I'll just finish these. They're a present.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the impulse. Oh, though having said that, because we got to go to Wolseley Wool in December, our local yarn store, I need yarn. I need specific yarn, not just out of stash yarn. We should see if she still has any of Allie's holiday colorways. Allie is a Dye For You. She's a local self-striper dyer for us. And
I'll link that in the show notes.
Oh yeah, I didn't get her green Christmas colorway. And it just reminds me so much of the Bare Naked Ladies Christmas song, Green Christmas.
I don't think I know that song.
Ah, the Bare Naked Ladies Christmas album. They're a Canadian music band. And I love their Christmas album. Love their Christmas album. It's my kind of humor, so it's kind of off kilter. They take the traditional songs, but I mean, they do the what's that song where it says Batman smells and Robin laid an egg?
Jingle Bells?
Yeah, they do that version of Jingle Bells. Yeah, like
I don't think I've ever heard this Christmas album.
It's a very enjoyable Christmas album, so I really like it. So I listen to it every year. It's actually after Veterans Day for us, or Remembrance Day here in Canada. So I am listening to Christmas music now.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can find it on Spotify or YouTube or something. I'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah, we should be able to. Well, you saw me last night. I was singing and dancing happily to the Christmas music.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I offended people. I don't care. I really don't. Like, it's fine. If you don't like it, don't go out shopping during the holiday season. Let's just get your stuff done beforehand. People, that's all you need to worry about. Can't go there. Didn't put my beverage on the side today. It's in front of me because my peanut butter and honey sandwich is on the side. I'm really bad at forgetting to eat lunch.
Consider this your daily finger wag from another adult.
Got it. Accepted. That covers everything except for actual knitting stuff.
Cool.
Should we talk about actual knitting things?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're not at 20 minutes. We're talking about actual knitting.
Who are we? Who are we?
All right. Who's closest to the end of a row that wants to go first? Because I think we have... No, wait, you've got one more thing than I do this week.
Oh, I was like, I just assumed it was me first, because I've usually got more stuff.
You're actually only ahead by one this week.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's crazy pants.
Who are you?
I knit on multiple things this week.
Well, then why don't we talk about the FO that was conceived of last night while you were driving me home at 10:30 at night.
Okay.
And I went, I need to make this.
In the category of things to go on Diana's head that don't necessarily belong on Diana's head.
I believe we have discussed that anything can be quantified as a hat.
Well, this is a hat. It's just a very tiny ornamental hat.
Jada in Stitches is a crochet YouTube channel that we follow. The podcast follows, and then I watch.
Posture while I knit now, so this hat doesn't fall off my head.
It's tiny.
No.
Nope, didn't make it. She does Christmas, she does seasonal stuff, and I wanted to see what her Christmas ornaments were like this year. So I was looking at her videos, and she had done a Christmas hat, and I want to make some ornaments this year.
There we go.
I mean, I don't have a Christmas tree right now because my artificial tree died at the end of last year. And I didn't buy one for this year, so I'll buy one for next year. So I'm taking a year off Christmas trees, and I'm enjoying that. So I wanted to make
the end of my hair stick. I'm wearing it sideways, sticking out of my bun. It's a new fashion.
That is not gonna become vogue.
No, it totally is.
Sure?
Yeah, you know what?
Okay. Well, I mean, we've seen other ones where I've gone, I don't understand. So possibly.
Okay. If you are listening to us and not watching, you can check out our Instagram for this amazing picture.
Oh, yeah, she's taking it. Yeah, you post that. Oh, gosh. So I made a tiny little ribbed hat with a pom-pom Christmas tree ornament. And it took me 2 episodes of Fairy Tales. So 40 minutes? 40 minutes to an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because those are about 20 minutes.
26 minutes, somewhere in there.
So yeah, 45 minutes?
Yeah, give or take, yeah. So, not long. Not take long at all. Which was really just weird, but I'll take it. So I was like, cool. So I'm making more. It's really cute. It's really cute.
It is really cute.
And it's going to look really good because we've got that Christmas exchange coming up for the Knit Club. So I figure I'll start by crocheting everybody some of those real quick. Mostly because I think in our knitting group, like in the 4 or 5 of us that meet every month, I'm really the only one who's super into crochet.
You might even say your hat is beautiful.
Guys, she has it on one of my stuffies. It happens to be a bumblebee. Be beautiful. Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
wow.
I'm done.
Brett,
I'm out.
We should not have fed you that coffee. Okay. Whoa, that is a thing. So it uses next to nothing. It's like 40 yards. It is a medium 4 worsted weight. I have no idea what yarn this is, guys. It came out of my scrap bucket. I haven't a hot clue. In this case, my color combo I picked was green and blue because they looked cute together. Making the mini pom-pom, you don't have to. You can go to like the dollar store and buy those little poof ball thingies, the little colored poof ball things, and you can use those. It was 10:30 at night on a Saturday. Dollaramas aren't open on a Saturday after 6 o'clock in Winnipeg. I don't think. They might be open till 9.
A couple of them are, I think.
But I don't. Yeah. Like, Domino's Pizza doesn't even deliver to my door after midnight. I live in a capital city. It's just sad, guys. It's
a very small capital city, to be fair.
It's a sad state of affairs. So I did it. It's really, really easy to do. So I'm making some more. I pulled out a couple of nuggets of yarn because I wasn't sure how many I'd get through before I got really tired and had to go to bed. The answer is 1. So I've started another one in blue. I got a fair bit of the blue left. Like I've got I'd say about a hand size ball. Yeah. But I still have enough of the green in my first color. I could make another one. It takes nothing. I have already made a green pom-pom.
That's cute.
To go on top of the blue hat.
What method do you use for making pom-poms? Because you don't have a pom-pom maker, do you?
No, I just use my hand. And I pulled out a purple nugget too. So I'm going to make some purple and blues and some of that. Mix them up. Yeah, I just, in this case, because the pom-pom is really small, like if I was making it for a regular sized hat, I'd use my whole hand. And then you wrap like a ton. Like, For my niece's hat, I wrapped 100 times to get a nice, dense, thick palm.
Gosh, that's a lot.
It's a lot of wrapping. For these ones, I used 3 fingers. My 3 fingers. And I wrapped like 40, 50 times. I didn't really count. I just wrapped until I went, yeah, it looks good. It's a pom-pom for a Christmas ornament. It's fine.
I generally just go, I'm losing circulation in my fingers now. I should stop.
You're supposed to wrap loosely. Loosely.
Yeah, it never works out that way for me.
Jeez.
I know that in theory. It just, in practice, doesn't ever seem to work out.
With the full-sized ones, I have to stop because then I can't close my hand. I still feel my fingers fine, but I can't bring my hand up to close because there's too much yarn. That's kind of how I gauge it.
Alright.
But yeah, I do that and then I just tie it really tight. Well, I tie it twice. So I tie it once because you want the knots super tight. So I do one knot as tight as I can do it, and then I flip it over and I do it again. I yank really hard to get that knot as tight as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't have a spare person down here to just borrow a finger. Otherwise you need like a third hand.
Yeah, that does make things difficult.
Yeah, so I just, that's what I do, so it's fine. I don't make palms very often because I don't like them on my hats, but I do them on hats I'm gifting away. And I thought it would look funny with the Christmas tree ornament if it didn't have a pom-pom.
The pom-pom really makes it.
Yeah, the pom-pom
it
needed
really
to be on that hat. So I was like, no, that's how that's going to work. So I'm going to make some more.
I love that pom-pom in relation to the hat is like the size of the hat.
It is!
I think that really helps sell the adorable ornamentalness
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, these are stupid cute. I'm making more. So I'm going to make a bunch more. Mostly because we were talking in the Fiber Friends Friday night Facebook chat about doing a Christmas ornament along. And I was like, that's a good idea because I have to get a new tree this year, so I'm not putting a tree up. And I wanted to make some handcrafted ornaments to go on the tree that I've made because I won't be able to craft forever. But I can definitely decorate a Christmas tree blind. It'll just be clumped, so it's fine. That's not my problem. That's everybody else who can see the Christmas tree's problem. I'll be happy with it, so it's fine. Can you just imagine when I'm doing that? Terry, she'll be fixing it.
Yep.
I've got a couple of other friends who'd be like, Jocelyn, this is not balanced. Can't see it. Don't care. If it bothers you, you can fix it. Mr. B would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to help himself. The unsymmetry would drive him crazy. The only thing that would hold him back is if there were sparkles on the tree.
Ooh.
Which
would win out?
I don't know.
I would love to watch that.
That is a
battle.
conundrum that I feel like may have to happen just to see if he does anything about it. Which is extra work for me, but it's a case study for somebody's master's degree somewhere in psychology. It is. So, I'm gonna make some more. I'm gonna make some other ones too, because like I've seen other Christmas tree ornaments that are really cute. Like I like the little Christmas socks or the little sweaters.
The sweaters.
I want to do a little sweater, just a solid color sweater. I don't want to do like a little mini color work or something crazy, but I want to do that. I've got so many scrap chunks of yarn. I'm like, nah, I should be able to pump out some more ornaments just for fun. No particular reason.
Sounds adorable.
And it gives me an FO. All right, your turn, right? Because we're alternating this week?
Yep.
Whoa, that's so weird. Okay,
All right.
I'll get over it.
I am so painfully close to being done the Find Your Fade. I just have like 2, 4, 6, like 16 more rows. Like 16 rows and I'll be done. So close. But you can see how much progress I made this week is like a good 2 or 3 inches on here, and I'm so close. So close. But I really love this gold color, and I do not regret my decision to just finish it off in this color and not worry about striping it into anything else, or fading it into anything else. So for hopefully the second last time, I will list all the colors in this shawl.
I've settled into a new row. This takes a while.
So the lovely gold color is Cinnamon Dolce from...
I'm not helping you anymore. We've been talking about this for 3 years.
I don't remember the yarn company. I got it at Pearlescence Yarn during their closing sale because I happened to be in San Jose. The this pink, orange, brown gorgeousness is Truffle from Hedgehog Fibers from my 8-hour layover in Dublin. The pink and green with blue speckle is Peacock, which I got from our local yarn store just to tie everything together. Because it blends extremely well with Ziggy Stardust from I Knit or Dye, as in Color Dye in London. Which blends surprisingly well with the, I have no idea if it ever had a name, vaguely rainbow colored yarn I got in San Francisco. I think this San Francisco yarn is, it's from the first time I went to San Francisco, which is the trip that I went on with Kayla. Was that after we graduated university or after we graduated high school?
Well, didn't you go to Europe after you graduated university? Which then would be the after high school trip to San Francisco then.
I think this must be the after high school trip. Which makes this some of the oldest yarn in my stash, my goodness.
And that's the only time I see it, because the other project you made you never use.
Yeah, I actually don't even know where it is right now that you've pointed that out.
Well, you are moving soon, so it should show up as your pack.
I think I know where it is.
Those are famous last words right there.
I know
that's like saying I put it in a safe spot.
I know
so
where it
screwed.
should be. I know where it should be.
Okay.
Yeah. The other project I used it for was
a scarf?
Yeah, it was like a scarf cowl thing, but it doesn't drape properly, and it wasn't the right yarn for the project.
If you had enough that you made a scarf thing, you might be able to obviously like rip out the project because you don't wear it.
Mm-hmm.
You might have enough to do a sock head, like a slouchy sock head for yourself.
It's true. I have thought about like ripping it out and using it as something else. Honestly, I'd probably make it out of socks. It is sock yarn.
Oh, geez. Well, then just make a pair of socks.
The reason I didn't make socks out of it was I'm like, it's too pretty. I can't make socks out of this.
That's crazy. Your feet can be pretty too.
Yeah, I've since gotten over that hang up, and I should have just made socks out of them.
Okay.
So if I ever do undo that scarf, it'll become socks.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
How do you have multiple projects? It's just crazy. All right, shall we talk about the sweater that'll just never give me a break?
Yeah, do it up. Let's hear about the saga of the sweater.
Okay, so unsurprisingly, I'm gotten messed up again and had to start all over again. Guys, even though it's in bright electric pink, I still can't really pick up stitches. It's not the color of the yarn, it's the weight of the yarn. So this is a fingering weight sweater I'm working on for my niece. Which she might not get it for Christmas. She might get a card with a picture of a sweater on the inside going, I owe you one sweater, one complete. Love, Annie Jocelyn. I do not stress this stuff. I talked to Grandpa, and I was like, I'm going to knit you a sweater. It'll just arrive in the mail when I'm done. He's like, that works. Not. Life's too young to stress this sort of crazy stuff. So I'm trying to knit a sweater in a month for Nano Swimo, and since I've had to start this now for the 5th time, I don't think it's going to happen. But whatever. We're giving it a go. I had the niece look at the pattern again for the So Faded pullover, and she liked it, but she wasn't super sure about like the fade in and fade out. It was a little too stripy for her. So we discussed it because she's 13. Well, I mean, she's been making clothing decisions since she was 6. It's fine. And I showed her the Flax Light, which is a solid color sweater. And I said, what I can do is go in and we can just do the fading, air quotes here, into from the pink into the highlighter multicolor at the bottom.
Right.
She liked that idea. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm doing the Flax Light because she liked the little detailing on the shoulders. And they have a raglan shoulder increase, top down, but it's got a little garter bump on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
She liked that. She thought that looked cool. So since I had to tink out anyway, we switched patterns. Because that's what you do when you're an aunt and your 13-year-old niece fits adult size clothing. She's a medium. She's a hard, solid medium. So I cast it on and I did the 1 inch of ribbing by one, and we all know how I feel about ribbing. I hate it. And I connected it in the round because what I like to do with ribbing at the start, at the start, I do the ribbing flat, and then I connect in the round, so I never have to worry about that random Mobius strip happening to me. This doesn't happen. Oh no, I've got 1 inch. I have to seam up at the end. Whatever will I do? It's fine, guys. So I did it. I connected it the first time, and I messed up my garter bumps. So that wasn't going to work. So I pulled back, and I went, okay, I'm just going to knit the top to the shoulders flat. Done. It's because I would forget every other round I had to purl in this tiny little 20 stitch strip section to get the garter bump. So I went, I can purl. It's fine. It won't kill me. So start the 5th. It's not as far as I've gotten on this sweater, but I have made no mistakes so far outside of crappy ribbing, and my ribbing's always crappy, so I don't care. I really don't. My ribbing's always messy.
It's broken rib.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's what I do. It's fine. The cuffs will match.
Element.
The cuffs will match, and the bottom will match. That's the only thing that really matters, if we're honest about it. So it's fine.
It's a design element. It's fine.
I worked out the pattern, and I'm working it out flat rather than in the round, which means once I'm past the shoulders and I've got the shoulders on waist yarn, I will then go through and I will do a simple quick on some waist yarn. I will do a quick single crochet to close it up so that I can connect it in the round and keep going.
All right.
And then I will go from there. So that's fine, but I've made no mistakes in the garter bump section, which is the big deal because I would randomly have a stockinette row in what should be a garter strip. Like, that's not going to work. So I needed regular stitch markers, or my clover stitch markers that I use for my increases, and then I have these beautiful little dainty silvery teardrop ones that I'm using to indicate my 20 stitch garter strip that sits on the shoulders.
Okay.
Yeah, just to help make my life a lot easier. So I'm doing it. I gotta increase a lot still before I have to worry about it, but I am doing them on 40-inch 4mm ChiaoGoo needles because that's what I get with gauge roughly. I'm making, technically the kid's a small medium. I'm making a medium because my gauge is slightly wonky. So she'll have anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 inches positive ease, which is great. That's nice, drapey without being bulky fingering weight sweater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also means if we go out still, because we're not done becoming a girl, we're still working on that. She's got some room. And by the time we get into like that negative ease era, she's like, what, 16, 17? And at that point, sometimes we're into that stuff. And if we aren't, I'll just steek it early and make it a cardigan. If we are, I'll leave it alone. I'm more worried about the length of her arms and her torso because she's not growing out. She's growing up. So while it is a small bust measurement, it is a large length measurement.
Goodness.
She's all height. Me and her mom did the same thing. So I will be using all of the yarn. I mean, we bought extra yarn, so I'm still within my meterage requirements in the length, but I suspect before I have to make it bigger for her girls' boobs, for all of us who are okay with the word, I will have to make it longer. Way before I have to worry about the girls. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. Right now when it's traveling, because I'm still working on my first ball of Manos de Alegre in the Alegria, and I've forgotten what the pink colorway is.
Oh,
I don't have the tags with me at the moment. It's living in another Christmas present gift bag that Miss C made for us last year, because it's one skein of fingering weight yarn and an eighth of a sweater. Will I have it done by the end of the month? Guys, that's crazy. Am I going to try? Well, yeah, obviously. But it's crazy. I'm not likely to make the goal. Still going to give it a good shot. Why not? Hey, I'm on target for NaNoWriMo. I'm participating in 2 readathons and the 100-day make-along challenge. Like, everything else has gone fine. The sweater is what's giving me difficulty. So a figure of, like, what, 60 billion plates in the air? If I've dropped one,
I
it's
think
fine.
that's okay.
I can live with it. It's not the end of the world. So, also can't work on that at night because it's too bright. I tried. It's too hard on my eyes.
I understand.
My eyeballs are like, no.
It's an exceptionally bright color.
Cool eyeballs. I'm with you.
All right.
Even though it's sweet, I really like that coffee. It's really nice.
I have a small amount of progress on the Glam Lamb this week because it is massive and not very good at traveling.
It is in fact crappy at traveling. You might actually get that done before me because I really hate ribbing.
I know, and I really don't mind ribbing.
Oh, it shows
As
up
proof by my next project.
It shows up so easily if I've messed it up on the shoulders, like on the sleeve. I have to be so careful.
You just say to heck with it and do a moss stitch.
No, because then I'd have to restart a sleeve and I'm almost at the elbow.
Oh.
So yes, but no.
Okay. So I believe I'm about, again, like 16 rows from being finished the back of this thing.
Ooh, you in 16.
Yeah, I know.
That might be our show title. 16 rows.
16 rows? Is 16 candles, is that?
Yes, that's a movie. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
It's
16 rows it is.
from the 80s, starring Molly Ringwald. You should watch it.
Okay.
She's also in The Breakfast Club.
Which I also need to watch.
Oh my god.
I know.
Our to-do list once your husband goes to Waterloo is just growing in spades. It's just gonna be huge.
Alright, make a list.
I will. Don't tempt me. You know me in lists.
Anyway, so this is the Glam Lamb by Stephen West, which I guess I technically started for the Across the Prairies Cal.
Sure, we'll let you say you
started. Started for.
You did. That wasn't what you were going to do.
No, that wasn't the initial plan.
Nope.
That's okay. Yeah. So this is out of Loops and Threads Charisma in charcoal, and I did a grand total of like 6 rows on it. So woohoo! It's not that interesting. It's cozy. I'm excited about it. But not as excited as I am about finishing my fade, which is why I'm working on that.
That's totally fair.
Okay, that's that thing.
That's that thing?
That's that thing.
Oh, it's time for me to do more things?
Yep.
All the things. But I'm knitting on my sweater. I gotta get it done. Okay. Let's talk granny squares. Because, you know, I'm nuts. So, I am working on a 100-day make-along project. This is a challenge, sort of make-along, help you do a larger project idea from WTF Knitting, or Levi, who's on YouTube. And I was like, this is perfect. There had been a crocheted Afghan blanket pattern that I'd always wanted to do when I ran across it. I think I shared it with Diana, and she was like, yes! It's a free pattern. You can find it. I know Diana's linked it.
Yep.
Last week, I finished a square. I'm going to hold up last week's square, because it's all sewn together. And I have this week's square crocheted, but not sewn together. I had to make some decisions on working more on the sweater. So I've only been able to put 15-20 minutes into it every day rather than the half hour to hour I try to. So I have all of my squares ready to go to make my second block to get it ready to go, because in quilting in Afghans you work in blocks. And I've started in on my third square, which I really only have a couple squares done. I got my beige ones done and this done. What I am doing, I was describing how I'm going to sew it together today, and which I'm pretty sure didn't make a ton of sense. But I know what I'm doing. That's what matters.
Something about strips and rows.
Yeah, strips and rows. So as I finish each square, like each block of the main pattern, there's a border piece to it. And I don't want to sew the border piece on right now because I've got a thing I want to do. Nor did I want to have to make 25 sections of border at the end of this. So I'm making my border after each block. So my second block is ready to be sewn together and my second border is complete. So that's still a lot of squares when I think about it. Like that's a lot of squares I crocheted this week, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm still making progress. I will not make the super crazy goal of finishing a whole blanket in 100 days. That's nutsoid. But I should be able to get my main core blocks done, or at least enough of them done. I've got a good section complete. So my goal had been to at least have everything crocheted and if not sewn together. And I'm going to be happy if I've got everything crocheted but not sewn together, because I can then sew it together in time for spring to put on my bed. Remembering that I want to expand on the project and make matching pillowcases, because matching.
Yes.
Yes. And I want to line the back of the blanket with a lightweight cotton in a solid color. So that way I can make fancy top pillowcases and bottom plain pillowcases.
Oh.
So I can have that cotton in there. So I've got a solid backing to it. So also that you can't see the pillows, because sometimes pillows are not the same white, and that would drive me nuts. If you could see it through the crochet, that would drive me bonkers. So I'm working on that. I have no idea what the backing color is going to be. Let's be honest, guys. Before I sew the whole blanket together, I'm going to take a block down to, what's that name of the really big fabric store I like to go to? It's the warehouse one. Marshalls?
Oh,
no,
yes.
Marshalls? Yeah, Marshalls Fabric. They're a warehouse store in the city that just is fabric. So I'm going to take one block down, and then I'm just going to buy the amount of cotton that I need to do the backing for.
Good plan.
I figure it's the best plan. That way I have an idea and I can sit and think about what it is I want to do. So there we go. I only have one more now.
I also have one more.
Oh my gosh, good. I can work more on my sweater.
I know everybody's so excited they pulled out the sock sack. Is it going to be a sock?
No.
And it's not the Celtic Myths fingering weight that has also been the thing.
Gosh, you need to finish things.
I know.
So many things I want to see done to see whether or not I want to make them.
So I started a thing. As we sit here talking about finishing things, I started a thing.
The Blame Dunder Knit Along has not started yet. Crazy lady.
So I was reminded that
I'm just as bad.
My friend's birthday is on Tuesday. I was reminded of this when she came over for dinner the other day and was like, so my birthday's on Tuesday. I'd really like a hat.
You do great. That's your best friend. That worries me greatly.
This is the friend that I have known for 20 years, like arguably longer than my own brother. She says she wants a hat, she gets a hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It also helps that she likes bulky knit hats with simple patterns and giant pom-poms, which are very easy and quick to do, so that suits me just fine.
Yes.
And I happen to have stashed everything that I needed for this project, which was great.
Listen, a healthy stash is a beautiful, beautiful thing, guys.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful. I've been trying to convince you of that since I started making a stash.
So this stash for the win this time.
I may be winning this argument finally.
I never doubted that a healthy stash was a good thing.
Hey, I pulled an entire Stephen West project, 2 of them out of stashes. I'm pulling a 3rd one out shortly too.
So I have started I wrote it down because I keep forgetting what it's called. I only started this yesterday, okay?
Listen, it's a brim. That's all I know, guys.
Northward.
Okay.
It's the Northward hat by Tin Can Knits because it was free and simple.
Got it.
I have already made pattern modifications.
You cannot help yourself, can you?
It's very simple. Very simple. Because the original pattern is just like cast on and do like 6 rows of 1x1 ribbing. And I'm like, first off, tubular cast on because
better looking.
It just looks nicer.
Yep.
Look at that nice tubular cast on.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with you. I did a tubular cast on this one instead of a long tail. Like, look how pretty the tubular cast on is.
Yeah, it's totally tubular.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Oh, my God.
Sorry,
Ninja
not
Turtles just came out of your mouth.
I never even watched that show.
Oh, jeez. My sister loved it. We had a floor puzzle. She loved it that much.
Anyway, so tubular cast on, and I did like how many inches of 1x1 ribbing?
That's more than 2 inches, dear.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, something like.
You know what?
Something like 4 inches.
Let me borrow my thumb, because that is about 1 inch from my knuckle to the end of my thumb.
It's 4 or 5 inches of ribbing,
yeah.
so that you can fold it up and have a double layer over your ears. I was measuring it against my ear and like folding it up and like, is this big enough?
Is
And,
enough
like,
ear coverage?
yeah.
Are
Because-
your ears a comparable size?
I think so. Because it's cold here. We want double layer brims.
Do we ever?
And then I'm just ready to start doing the actual cables. I've got my knits and my pearls established. It's just going to be a 3x3 front cable. Front right twist. Anyway, your basic cable. Which I am not working on right now because I cannot negotiate cables and carry on a conversation at the same time.
Yeah, I've watched you try. It's not good.
Yeah, no. I know my limits. So the ribbing, I did that on US size 9 needles. I'm doing the rest of the hat now in US size 10.5. In my lovely interchangeable set that was my Christmas present to myself a few years ago, the rosewood needles.
Ooh, those are nice needles.
Yeah, the rosewood interchangeable needles from Knit Picks. They were expensive. And I regret nothing. They are my favorite needles.
Good.
The cord is fine. It's not as nice as your ChiaoGu's.
Oh, I am slowly making the move so everything would be ChiaoGu.
ChiaoGu has superior cord
Cords.
quality. But,
Yeah, it's just gorgeous cords.
But I really love these rosewood knitting needles. Oh, yarn. Yes, so I had stash yarn. It is Loops and Threads Charisma. Exactly the same as my Gladland, except it's in dark purple instead of charcoal.
What did you make that you needed the dark purple for?
Nothing. I think this was part of a Christmas present from the
Oh,
mother-in-law.
Right. Yeah, because she got us yarn that one year.
Yeah. So I think I got that solid color and a variegated color.
Yeah, we did something with the variegated colors. What did we make?
I still
we made
have mine.
things. I made a thing.
You made a thing. I still have
I
mine.
forget what I made, guys. Probably a crocheted shawl, because those variegated cakes are great for crocheted shawls.
So I pulled out all 3 options I had for bulky weight yarn and sent her a picture and was like, okay, you can pick one of these. And how's this pattern? Except with this modification. And so like there's a whole big text conversation where I'm like,
gosh.
I'm gonna make you this hat out of this yarn. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because it's much as it's nice to surprise people, I still like to check and make sure I'm actually making something that they want, that they'll actually use. Because otherwise, I've given them this thing and they're like, oh, I feel obligated to use this thing, but it's totally not my style. And I want to give them something that they're actually going to use, because then I get the warm fuzzies when I see them actually using the thing. The other hat I knit for Kayla, she wears it all the time, and it's fantastic. I love when she comes over and she's wearing the hat.
Yeah, because like, I have received enough presents in my lifetime that have been of no use to me and I've had no interest in. And I really like going, what do you want? Just tell me.
Yeah.
Be surprised. Let's just make life easier.
Yeah.
P.S. You're getting Whiskey Rocks for Christmas.
I'm good with that.
Because I want something that you'll use.
The other requirement for the hat was that it had to have a giant pom-pom. So this is the giant alpaca pom-pom that I had bought at the Fiber Festival that I was going to put on my Katie hat.
Yeah, I was like, that was last year's Fiber Festival purchase, wasn't it?
No, that was this
year's.
Yeah. But it's just... because my Katie hat came out like a slouch, and I feel like if I put this giant pom-pom on it, it's just going to fall off the back of my head.
Well, yeah, because you definitely wear it like a slouch.
Yeah.
My memory serves.
So I think instead it's going to go into this project, and it's going to go on top of this cable knit hat as a giant poofy pom-pom, and I'm really excited about how this project is coming together out of entirely stashed stuff.
Good, it's exciting. Extra Noise is brought to you by football.
Ah yes, football weekend. This pom-pom is so poof.
My brother-in-law is big into American football, so Sundays are football days. And it's either really quiet because he's at his best friend's house, or it's loud because both of them are here. One of the two. Which is how it works.
I have attached the poof to my head.
Oh, of course you have. You need another one, then you can be, oh, there's a person, New Media, in American Gods.
Oh.
The television show.
Oh.
Because when she changes, she's got a very Japan anime-orientated hairstyle.
Yes.
Yep. I watch TV, you guys. All right, I got one more
since I watched that one.
I remember things like how I hated the intro for it.
I really like the intro for
I
it.
hated the intro for it. I skipped it every time. But whatchamacallit? The one that's Armageddon. It's about the angels.
Oh, Good Omens.
Thank you. Loved that intro. Okay.
I'm gonna watch that show again. It was so good. We watched it in like 3 days.
It's such a cute show. I may honestly put it on and do some binge knitting and watch it because I don't have to like super pay attention. I just pay attention to the parts I like and ignore the parts I don't. Alright, so I grabbed, because I am finishing up some design work on some patterns, a big old ball of Lion Brand Ice Cream yarn, which is a DK yarn in white and blues, and a little gray. White, blue, and gray. Because I am making one of the 2 shawls I'm making. They're both winter orientated. I wasn't sure how much yardage I needed to do, and that's the last thing I need to sort of super calculate before I send it off to test knitters. So 2 days ago, pattern's back, and everything's looking good because my test knitter really just Englishes things for me, which is good because sometimes my Jocelyn gets in the way. I'm doing 2. I always knit it twice, which seems crazy, but I like to do one in acrylic and one in wool because acrylic behaves differently than wool does.
Makes sense.
So the first one up is acrylic just because I had it, and I'll go to Woolsey and I'll pick up some wool and do the wool one later. So I am working on what is going to be Jack's Playground, which is one of 2 pattern releases that are going to be coming out in January. And this one's a solid variegated, so the patterning will be different between this and the one that I pick where it's 2 different types. And then the one that's 2 different types, it'll be a solid stripe color for the pattern. And then the squishy garter will just be in the colorway. But it is a snowflake pattern, is what it is going on here. With the 50 billion stitch markers I've got going on.
Because it's important to have 50 billion stitch markers.
It just makes my life easier. I made some pattern adjustments to try to make it as clear as possible so we could be like advanced beginner.
Okay.
Because I wanted it to be approachable. So the first time I did it, I had pattern going everywhere. And I went, that's crazy. People are not going to do that. That's too much work. I didn't finish it. It's like, nah, it's not gonna happen. So I went differently, and I changed up the part that's just the garter stitch I had as a pattern. So I am finishing up this. I should be done end of this coming week. So I will do that. This one I might put tassels on because I feel like nice wintry shawl with some giant tassels. I feel like that'll look really good.
I think that could work.
So I'm going to do that, and I mean, I'm going to have to turn around and knit it again, but the pattern's ready for both of them to sort of send out to test knitters and stuff, so I want to get that done today if I can. At least get the sending out done today if I can, and have this done for next week, so I should have an FO next week. It's DK, it's on a 5mm needle, like, it does not take long to knit worsted DK on a 5mm needle.
Unless you're me.
Depends on how distracted I get with crocheted Christmas ornament hats. Let's be honest, people. So that's it. That's all the stuff I'm working on.
All right. That brings us to Yarn on the Go, which we kind of already talked about.
Yeah, we went. Well, yeah, because I did a little bit of knitting while we were planning our thingy, and we did some Instagram photos.
I'm really into that coffee.
I don't waste. Thank you very much.
Just like sipping on my coffee.
I drink a lot of liquids in a day. I don't have time for that nonsense. We did behind the closed doors yesterday, and then I did the usual. I'm getting my tooth repaired, plus quarterly check-in at the doctor's, plus monthly med pickup. So I did a lot of sitting and waiting, and a lot of knitting because I was sitting and waiting. Well, it's like 40 minutes to sit and wait for meds most of the time. And if I remember in advance, I call down, but I had to get some refills. So I had my paper refills with me this time. So I was 40 minutes waiting. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just sit down and knit. So I did. I worked on the sweater. Shocking. I know, you guys. That rib is just killing me. I hate it so much. So I had to be somewhere where I didn't have an option to work on something else. So that, because if I do, I will work on something else other than ribbing. So I did that, and then not at my doctor's office. My doctor's really fast, but at the dentist when I was doing my first section of work, that's a thing I had to do. I sit waiting and do things. And did some busing this week, so it happened on the bus to just make like my normal stuff, guys. This is really not fancy. It's really not fancy work.
I got really distracted. I forgot I put the puffball on my head.
Wow, that is really distracted. Did you just remember it was on there? Okay.
Yeah, make sure I take it off before I leave.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll be kind. I'll do that for you. Your anime buns are lopsided. Put another one on or take the one you got off. Weirdo.
I amuse myself.
Yep.
I'm happy.
That's fair. Did you have anything out on the go? I can't remember. Sometimes
no,
you're just right.
No, all I did that was interesting this week was behind closed doors.
That's fine. That was a lot of interesting. Really liked that sauce we tried.
It was good. Some kind of whiskey caramel something or other.
Yeah, and I didn't dislike it because of the whiskey or the caramel.
I don't usually like the salted part of the caramel, but it was good.
Yeah, which is impressive because
these are all words that in some combination we don't like, but we both liked it.
We both liked it. It was corn free, so I'm like, hey, might have to add that to my list to go pick up.
Yeah.
Cool beans. That was a quick section.
Will gathering.
So much wordage, you guys. Okay, try to make this as quick as possible.
Patreon Knit Club next Saturday, November 23rd, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, that was that part.
That's really fast. Okay, that was very succinct.
It's almost like we say it every week.
We do pretty much. We at the end of the year closing up really fast. I will say insert depressing number of days till Christmas here because there's not that many. And then I will go, that also means that the 2019 bingo challenge will be wrapping up. So I'm going to open up a finished bingo challenge thread. So I will open it up. It's not for prizes or anything. It's just to see how everyone's done throughout the year. So I will start with my post and what I've accomplished in the squares I've marked off. I liked it as a challenge because it gave me a goal, but I had enough flexibility I could change it, which was really nice. Yeah, so.
Oh, that was weird. Okay, the puffball fell off and attacked the back of my neck. That scared the crap out of me for about half a second.
You are a delightful hot mess today, aren't you? That's it. No more shopping with people for you. You're just messed up for days afterwards.
I'm okay.
There's more coffee in that can than you think. You good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Oh, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the bingo challenge cards.
Okay.
And then when you made that sound, I went, oh, Diana's going to be depressed with how little X's she got done. Nope. Okay, she's scaring herself. Got it.
No, I'm terrifying myself.
Okay. That's a
thing.
thing.
Honestly, my bingo sheet is buried at the bottom of a stack of stuff on my desk, so I have absolutely no idea how I've done. I suspect not well. But I have to clean my desk before I can find out.
That'll be hilarious. Okay.
I should have stuck it to the wall.
I stuck mine to a wall.
I should have done that. I
worked really
thought
well.
I would keep my desk clean, silly me.
No, I didn't even pretend that was going to even remotely happen for me. I'm just like, no, you need to go on a wall. Otherwise I'm going to lose you.
Yeah. I should have known better.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll do that and share photos of things and talk about what we did and what we didn't do as we get closer. So I'll get that open and get everybody geared up for that. If you are awaiting on prizes, I've been sending out some Ravelry messages because I want to double check some addresses. I'm still waiting to hear from the people who won for other things. So things are in progress and moving, but if you're watching me talk or listening to me talk and you think to yourself, ooh, wait a minute. Jocelyn has been talking to me on and off about getting prizes. Double check to make sure that I don't have a Ravelry message that I'm awaiting a reply for. So, you know what? It is what it is. If it takes you a few days, I'm not offended. You're going to get it. It's not the end of the world. It'll just take time. That's fine. No worries. It's no skin off my back if it sits here packaged ready to go for a week or two. It's cool by me.
All right.
What else do I have to talk about? Podcast anniversary.
Podcast anniversary.
Because we're into the end of November. So let's be honest. It might be the 16th today. Did I do that right? Yes.
Yep.
And I could theoretically have this podcast ready for Diana by Monday night. Not often, but sometimes. Usually Tuesday. That doesn't mean it'll go out anytime before Friday. Sometimes it takes that long for us to get our work done. Sometimes I have that much trouble uploading. Sometimes Diana has arguments with things. What was it? 137? only exported the first 30 minutes. No, 138 only exported 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Sometimes technology does. We have trial and error issues. So we're going to start talking about pretty hardcore about the podcast anniversary for everyone to get excited. It'll be our 3rd edition because book reference.
Yep.
So from January to the end of March, we will be doing a knit along for everybody. There will be prizes for that one. This year, Diana had a moment of inspiration and decided she wanted to do her tin can knit sweater that she bought yarn for last year for. And I went, sweet, that works. So Tin Can Knits are going to be the designer of choice for the podcast anniversary. It will be sweaters this year. So any sweater by Tin Can Knits, guys, they have many sweaters.
Many sweaters, many sizes.
Many sizes. A lot of them are so pretty. And they are really good at customization. And they're really accessible size-wise. So our only rules are, as always, has to be adult. Because there's a difference between a 4XL and a newborn baby as far as work quantity goes.
Yep.
So we went adult only. That's just made more sense for us because not everybody has little people in their lives, but most knitters who are adults have at least themselves they can knit for.
This is true.
So that worked in my brain. You can bring in works in project, but no more than 50% complete. And if you need a little bit longer than 3 months, if you need 4 months to complete a sweater, please feel free to cast on a little bit early to work on stuff. So you don't super stress yourself out about it. Diana's going to do a pullover. She's going to do the flax.
I am. I'm really excited for my pumpkin spice and charcoal colored flax.
I'm excited to see it in 2021.
It sounds like I'm... Yeah. I had to process that for a second. Yeah, probably. Let's be honest. But I floated this idea at the Workcraft Club that I started.
Yes.
And it sounds like I'm running a sweater knitting class.
I will come help. If you told me what day, I would show up at Bold.
Good luck getting there by bus at noon on a Thursday.
Screw that nonsense. I would cab.
Fair enough.
What are you smoking? I can't get anywhere on time in the city bus, and it's just going to get worse in 2020 with the changes. No, no. I could cab home because then or bus home because then it takes however long it takes, whatever, who cares. But getting somewhere on time, you have to cab.
Yeah.
Cab or drive if you want to be even remotely on time. So that's fine. So yeah, that's the podcast anniversary for that. We'll be doing the new and updated prizes for that, which we'll cover in January when we get there. I think that's all business stuff we have.
I think so.
I think that's all business stuff we have.
Shall we talk about books?
Well, I've got purchases.
Oh, yes.
Because I bought things, but there was something else that floated through my brain that I thought it was important to mention, but it's gone. So...
I don't know, you didn't tell me to write it down, so I have no idea.
Since it just floated through my brain, I couldn't have told you in advance. I don't know.
Well, you gotta have these ideas sooner.
No. I have one good idea a day, and that's it. And I never know when it's going to happen. I follow many threads and many things on Facebook. It is a wonderful social media time sink. And it is a time sink. A lot of them are unshockingly about knitting. What?
Oh my goodness, Justin follows knitting on social media?
Who knew? And one of the knitting groups had posted a link for a free pattern for sweater, which I shared with our group.
Ah, yes.
And I think all of us but one got.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. But that meant I was on Ravelry. And that's always a dangerous place for me. Not for answering emails, which I'm the worst at doing on Ravelry, but for pattern searching. Because if I get anywhere near the pattern button, what do? I go look at patterns. So I was like, well, I'm already here. Justification.
Uh-huh.
Here's me reasoning my expressway. I'd been looking at doing another crochet sweater because I enjoy wearing them and I enjoy making them. Not that I've been able to keep most of them, but you know what I mean. And I found that striped one that I sent you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the pattern name for it because I looked at over 600 crochet sweaters. I will have to send Diana the link for it later. I just don't remember. But I really liked it, even though it only went up to a 48-inch bust. I believe I started the conversation off with, why can't my bust be 48 inches? And then as I was reading it, I realized it's a top-down raglan design. I can just keep doing the increases till it's as big as I need it to be.
Perfect.
Hello.
Come here.
Since my
Stop making noise.
she doesn't know how to not do whatever she wants to do. This is not how a cat functions. So I was like, I am obviously a genius of massive proportions.
Clearly.
What are you doing? Yeah, you go over there and explore the plastic bag. That'll make no noise and not drive Diana crazy.
I was trying to avoid her playing with the door, but I just can't win.
Nope, not today. Weirdo. So, did some random math. Because it's a free pattern. The designer only did it in the one size, her size. And the rest of it was just sort of math calculated. That's fine. You're offering the pattern for free. I can do a little math on my own. That is super okay by me. Another designer I really like, the TCD, who does a lot of crochet patterns.
Mm-hmm.
She does the same thing. She does the math for you, but she only makes it in her size for her to wear. That's fine. I'm not paying anything for this pattern. You shouldn't have to make it in my size. Like, if you test knit through all the sizes, make me pay. What are you doing, Phaedra? Stop pulling my sweater down. So I estimated out, did some math, and I picked up 2 colors of yarn. Unshockingly, one of them's white.
Jocelyn wears white things. What?
I wear white things a lot. I picked up a white and like a really deep wine red. I'm sure it's got a color like a wino or something.
Wine, in fact.
In fact, the white I'm sure is white.
In fact,
white. In the Red Heart Soft. And I'm going to crochet a striped sort of feather and fan sweater pattern. And I'm going to end up doing a lot of modifications because I'm going to end up making it bigger around the bust. And then I'm going to have to decrease it a fair bit underneath, since everything but the boobs fits about a 48-inch bust measurement range.
Right.
The girls are the only thing that don't. So I can do the cast on at 48 inches. I can do everything else for the 48 inches marker. I literally just have to make the increases bigger to get around the girls.
Cool.
And then shrink it again. I can do that. That's not a problem. So this was on, we went to Michael's, me and Terry, accidentally, as one does.
Uh-huh.
After, hey, listen, we did the adult shopping first. I got my new glasses ordered. We did lunch. The important things happened. I accidentally had 3 cups of coffee that day.
Got a text later. I had 3 cups of coffee. I'm shaking. The house is so clean.
I mopped, swept, dry Swiffered, and mopped my floors. For fun. I needed to do something.
Your floors do look very clean.
I know. They're really clean this week, you guys. They're never bad. They're just cleaner than usual this week. So I picked that up. So this will be my sort of for myself project when I need a break. Yeah. So I'm getting geared up for some selfish knitting and stuff because I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes. Can't talk about it yet because one of the gift receivers is sitting beside me. Present work. So I'll be very excited to not have to dedicate time to that here shortly, and I can just work on my own stuff. I'm a selfish knitter and I love it. I'm not ashamed of that. And I'm not entirely sure how well that is actually a true statement, since I give a lot of stuff to Mom.
Yeah, I would say I'm fairly selfish, but then how many pairs of socks have I given away? Your
mom is your primary. You were like me. We knit things, and then our moms are like, "Oh, it's really pretty," and we go, "Have it." So we're bad or good for that. Either our mothers have trained us really well.
No, I make stuff specifically for my mom. She tried to run off with my Not a Lot of Rain in April, and I was like, no. That's mine.
That's fair.
No touchy.
No touchy? If I really want to keep it, I have to knit it in a natural wool. Because then she'll leave it. But if I knit it in an acrylic, it kind of goes away. Or cotton. It wanders.
Yeah, I have no such limitations.
Yeah.
And my mom and I like similar colors a lot of the time.
Yes, you guys do, yeah. Good luck with that?
I might have to make another Not a Lot of Rain in April in the exact same colors.
Hey, you're moving away in like April, May. That'll help. She won't be able to just randomly wander over and borrow things.
This is true.
Good help with the my mom is coveting my things problem. It might not. I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll see.
We'll
I
test the
might
theory.
feel more obligated to mail off more pairs of socks.
No, that's crazy. You're gonna have so much to do when you get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much to do. And I'll be bugging you every week to podcast record, so you're not getting rid of me that quickly.
Darn. I mean,
What? We have to talk tech, because we gotta do some serious upgrades in January.
Yeah.
And some hardcore flips and do some test runs and stuff before you go.
Yeah.
While we're still in the same city to make sure everything irons out smoothly, so.
Yeah.
Jocelyn gets to learn more about technology. Yay! Not yay. Alright, that's it. I think that covers everything, because I still can't remember what it was I was going to mention that flowed through my brain.
Cool.
Man. Okay.
Is it time for literature?
Yes, let's talk books.
Let's talk some books. Okay. I finished Unmentionable, A Victorian Lady's Guide to Sex, Marriage, and Manners. I think I got that right.
And then you bought a dress that would not be appropriate to wear to bed.
Oh, goodness, no. No, my party dress is not even a chemise. It's way too shiny for that anyway.
Oh, well, yeah, that too, but too unladylike.
Unmentionable is fantastic. The author has this dry, sarcastic way of imparting facts that is just so entertaining. I highly recommend Unmentionable if you are even the least bit interested in Victorian culture, I guess.
If you are interested in weird facts, you will enjoy the book.
It is full of weird facts. It's
full of weird facts.
It's written with the idea that you are a lady and you have gone back in time with the author, and so it's written from that perspective.
Yeah, it's a traveler's guide.
Yes. It's
I have
so
two other
funny.
ones. I have a traveler's guide to ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, or ancient Greece and ancient Rome, and they treat it like you'd got a travel book off the bookstore, in the bookstore in like the 90s before we had internet and never used books. And it's set up like that. So like, here's your top 10 restaurants. Here's the top 10 cities to visit. Here's the places to avoid. Here's where like it's fully set up like a traveler's guidebook.
Nice.
Yeah, and Unmentionables is pretty similar. Yeah, how to get along with the locals.
If you're a woman and you want to go out, don't.
Don't. Yeah.
The answer is don't.
The answer is don't.
Yeah, so highly recommend that one. I have now started Invisible Women, Data Bias in a World Designed for Men. And it is absolutely fascinating. The number of things that are just like, did you even speak to a woman when you were making those decisions? Like at all, ever, once? Did they cross your mind? Maybe that women have different needs from the average man.
I have a friend who's at a disability conference this week. He is deaf. At a disabilities conference.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm waiting for the facepalm.
He has to book which events he's going to go to in advance, otherwise there isn't an interpreter there. So he doesn't just get to change his mind like he would at a convention and not attend a panel. He has to book his panels in advance and then attend only those panels. At a disabilities conference.
You would think there'd be a sign
what?
language interpreter for all of them.
What? Why is that not just standard? Excuse what? So it's not just women who have moments of, wow, you did not think that through.
The gist is,
did the tweet and I was like, what?
the world is designed for your heavy air quotes average man, which is not even the average man anymore.
I disagree. Buses are not designed for the average man. If they were, I'd fit better.
Yeah, so heavy air quotes average man.
Yeah.
It's so okay. So, story that's not in this book at all. It's just a fun story. I think it was the U.S. Air Force was trying to design a super ergonomic, comfortable airplane seat, like the pilot seat. They're trying to make it, and so they took a whole bunch of measurements.
Long time.
So they took all these measurements of all of the men, and they were trying to make a seat that would fit all of them. And so they averaged all the measurements, and they made this average seat. And it fit nobody.
Yeah, because everybody's different.
Yeah. So I don't remember what the ultimate solution was, but yeah, trying to make things to fit the average doesn't really work, and it works even less when you don't sex disaggregate your data, because I'm in the medical chapter right now, and apparently estrogen, as people are finding out, dramatically affects how medications work.
Yes.
And because of this is a known thing. So they don't include women in their test subjects a lot of the time because the hormones would make their nice, clean clinical trials too messy.
Yeah, menstruating women aren't included in a lot of medical trials.
Oh, it's just...
Which is a good chunk of a woman's life cycle is menstruation.
Yeah, and like... So, like,
yeah,
antidepressant medication can affect you differently at different points in your menstrual cycle.
Hello? Yeah, oh, I know.
Yeah.
I take them. I know.
It was just like...
That 4 or 5 days where you don't hear from me because all I can do is sleep.
It's just crazy. And like, but no, we're not half the population. We're anomalies. We're irregular. We're atypical.
Yep.
Because we're not the, heavy air quotes, average man.
Yep. So
it is a fascinating read. The tone of the author is a little bit, there's undercurrents of like the raw feminism that I'm like, I'm not sure about that wording and tone there, but she's got all of the facts and numbers, so many facts and numbers and references to back it all up, so I can't really fault her for going.
No, see, I would have to check those references and studies to see when the studies were published and what science they actually used. Because you get a lot of pseudoscience.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But the references are all there, so you absolutely can
Which is
do
good.
that.
Which is good. That's sort of a good way to work. Well, come on. People still believe if you take vaccines, you can, as a child, you can get autism. Yeah. And science has said, no, that's not how that works. Here's the facts for decades now, and people still believe this.
It was one study championed by one celebrity, and then they debunked the study, but that didn't matter because it was already out there championed by a celebrity.
Yep.
Facts by popularity. Okay.
Which happens with all things in all fields.
I facepalmed a little too hard. I gave myself a headache.
Well, genius.
I facepalmed too hard.
I facepalmed too hard. Well done.
Thanks.
So yeah. No, it sounds like an interesting read.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I've been reading.
I read a lot.
Yeah, you read...
Guys, I'm literally in the middle of a readathon, and I had another overlapping one that I was able to swing a book for. So as of tomorrow, the Triwizard Tournament first task completes. I'm already done my task. But I have until the 22nd of this month for the Tome Topple Readathon. Diana's going to link both of them down below.
Yes.
The Triwizard Tournament is unshockingly Harry Potter based. So that is what it is. I got to work on I get a week off between challenges. So now I need to sit down and look at Challenge 2 officially and decide what I'm going to read for that. So I needed a book with some action. At first I thought I was going to do Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. And I got like 2 chapters in and I couldn't do it. I found it very boring. So I abandoned it and went over and decided, okay, well, I'm almost done Leviathan's Wake, which was the first book in the James S.A. Corey series, the Expanse series. And it's got a lot of action.
So much action.
So book 2 will have action too. So I did book 2 of the Expanse series, which is, I told you, Leviathan Wakes is the first one.
Yep. I think it's the Burn one.
No, Cibola Burn's the 4th one. Shoot. Abeldon's Gate is the third one. So something War.
Oh, Caliban's War.
Caliban's War.
There we
so
go.
I did Caliban's War as my Triwizard Tournament read, which had to be read in bed. That's where all my crocheting got done this week, was in bed. It was delightful. Book 1 was my first Tome Topple, because all of these books are over 500 pages, so they count for the Tome Topple. So I did Leviathan Wakes, I did Caliban's War, I did Abeldon's Gate, and I am literally a chapter away from finishing Cibola Burn. So that is 4 books in 1 week. I've done no podcasts, no YouTube, no... When I focus, I focus.
2 years, and I'm only on the 6th book.
There's only 8, so I've only got 4 more to go. I can do it.
Gosh, I think I might be on the 7th book. I think I finally finished the 6th book.
Excellent. I got 4 more to go. Race?
Yeah, I better get on that.
I only have 1 more week for the Tome Topple.
You might catch up.
So many just they'll just do like I mean I have no interest in physically going into space. It's not a thing for me.
Me neither.
It's not traveling or anything. But I'd drink coffee out of a bulb.
That does sound like fun.
It's like I'd do that.
Weightless sounds like fun. I feel
No,
like
weightless does not sound like fun.
oh, I think it would be like really fun for about a minute,
Nope.
and then I'd
Nope.
be horrendously ill.
No, thank you.
I think I would
No
space
interest.
poorly, but I'd really like to experience it once.
Yeah, no interest in that whatsoever. Time traveling back to the past though, cool. Fantasy world with magic, done. I'm game. I will suffer whatever I have to suffer to get to those places. But I'm not. And I'm not a massive science fiction fan. Like I'll read it, but it's not my go-to genre. My go-to genres are fantasy and romance, and that's the way I like it. So I wasn't sure if I'd like the series or not, but they've got enough. Instead of focusing in on the science and like the awe-inspiring, we're out in the universe sort of stuff, they focus in on character development and the interconnectivity between people, which I thoroughly enjoy. So I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. And they drop the science in where it's necessary and where it's needed, and you have that moment thinking, what? That's weird. And then you go look something up.
Yeah, they don't techno babble like on Star Trek or anything. It's about the people and their relationships and the politics and
which is all stuff I'm okay with. So
yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it. A little. Okay, super happy I did not even remotely attempt to stay with the television series because they did not character actor that well. Am happier with the novel characters because they are far more diverse than you get on the television series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, far more diverse. So I definitely would say it's a good diverse read, and that it just doesn't matter. They don't care. They don't make a big deal out of it. It just, oh, it is what it is. Why wouldn't you? Which I'm like, that's where we need to be.
Yeah,
it needs to stop being a thing.
The Expanse does a very good job of diverse characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with names that are from, like, two very different cultural backgrounds. Yeah. And it's just, like, whatever, people of all sorts of sexual orientations, and it's
doesn't matter.
It's not a thing.
Not a thing.
It just is.
Cool.
Nobody makes a deal out of it.
That's what it needs to be.
It's exactly what it needs to be.
Super appeals to my sense of how the world should function. So, super delighted. Also, I want to try a vat-grown steak.
I'm so on board for that.
I also want to try whatever their mushroom and onion steak is. I feel like at that point they would have nailed mushroom and onion steak. I love that it's vat-grown, but people are still 90% vegetarian. If you notice in their eating habits.
I can't say I paid that much attention to the food.
I noticed it because a lot of authors will make a big deal out of the food as part of culture.
Okay.
And for them, they'd be talking about, I mean, you do a lot of ration packs. You're in space. This makes sense. But you'd get a character talking about, oh, no, like, I was at that restaurant. And like, yeah, no, they do an excellent mushroom and onion steak. I'm like, oh, I want a mushroom and onion steak.
I'm curious about their mushroom liquor that they talk about.
Yeah, that makes so much sense to me because when you go into, you can't take your animal with you when you go into space.
No.
So you'd go vegetarian. You'd go rice-based, you'd go beans, you'd go alternative protein sources. You would eat salads and think that's perfectly normal and not that you're weird. It'd be weird not to be eating a salad once or twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. We look at people because they get excited about vegetables. They're like, oh man, just fresh carrots and lettuce. I'm like,
fresh vegetables.
Yeah, that's how we should be. This is great. This is an exciting thing. Perfect. I mean, they talk a little bit about growing up and no G versus G, and I'm like, it's things I would never think about, but they don't hyper focus on it, which is nice.
I also enjoy the way they explain like spaceship mechanics.
Yeah.
But without being like super sciencey about it. It's just like it's just worked into how it is. Like you're accelerating at whatever thrust to have a third G or a whole G or whatever.
I love its metric.
Yes.
Whole thing's metric because the world 5% of the world functions on metric and only 5% doesn't.
Yeah.
Some crazy stats like that.
And then they talk about like the flip and burn, like it's just this is just a part of space travel where you're
you
accelerating towards your target, but then you have to slow down, so you have to turn it around so your engine's pointed at the thing.
Yeah.
And then I spent a
Math.
very long time thinking about it. I'm like, but then how does the thrust gravity
There's no
still
gravity.
work?
Well,
No,
yeah,
like
well, you'd still have
thrust
thrust gravity. Yeah, you'd still have gravity because you still
because
are
you're
at
accelerating
thrust.
the other way,
Yeah.
and like it took me so long to wrap my brain around this thing that the characters are just like
No,
they're your average everyday person, and they just like know rocket science. Like,
it's just what you know.
wow.
You're like, what? Which
Like,
makes total sense because that
yeah.
would be what you would need to know to survive. It would be a
But,
survival.
like your average mechanic is a rocket scientist.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like it's no big deal.
No big deal. Yeah.
Which is
Just delightful.
I
What
love
was the other thing?
how real the cultural differences feel.
Advanced medical. You can regrow limbs, but they use maggots to keep rot out. Yeah. Perfect. That is us doing what we do, which is this needs to be super advanced, but you know what? The nail still really freaking functions. So grab yourself a hammer. That is perfect just the way it is. There is no need to change that. We're good. Delightful. So it's really, I'm really enjoying the series, even though it is science fiction, even though there's aliens and space battles, which aren't super appealing to me. I found it quite adventuring. So obviously, since I'm almost at book 5, and by almost at book 5, I'm literally I'm just about into the epilogue. Like, I'm really close to finishing that book. And I re-listened to sections, and I will likely re-listen to the whole series because I've really enjoyed it, and I would enjoy doing it at a slower pace. Right now, I'm like, how much can I get done in 2 weeks? Because it's a challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the answer is a lot, apparently. I can't do this hardcore next week. I've got other things I need to do. So.
Right. I think that's everything then.
That's it. Yeah, because we don't really have any events going on right now that I haven't already talked about.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
That's perfect. Sweet. In which case, I'll say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit. I still got a bit to go to pull my rose down.
I know, me too.
Ah!